All right, guys, there's another boatload of new releases on the horizon, and I'm going to break them all down for you in today's video. There's a ton coming out, and like I said, I'm going to break all of the fragrances down. I'm excited for some of the releases here more than others, but some of the usual suspects are releasing some, flankers and extracts and things like that. And there are a few new offerings here as well. There's a few that I'm really, really looking forward to get my nose on, and I'm going to mention those as I'm talking about each of the fragrances. And I've got about 20 fragrances here in the main list and about 4 from one brand after the outro. So don't forget to stick around for those fragrances as well. But before I get to the list, let me know if there's something that you're excited about. What are you looking forward to checking out the most? You've heard about, you've seen, but haven't put your nose on it. But let me know what it is. Let us know what it is. Add a comment below. And let's get started with the list. So Aramis, yes, Aramis has a new fragrance coming out. It comes almost a year after their fragrance Intuition, which was a renaming of one of their earlier fragrances that came as a woman's and a men's fragrance. So Aramis Intuition Intense is launching very soon, and they've intensified the original fragrance, and it seems it's going to go into a leathery direction, and it features notes of leather, oak wood, and juniper berry. Who was a fan of the original Intuition that came out last year? Not the original that was out like in the 90s, I think. So yeah, Aramis recycled one of their older fragrances, and they are only doing a men's release called Intuition, where, like I said, they already had an Intuition before for the ladies and for the guys. This is something that Dior does quite a bit. They recycle some of their names. Now I'm seeing Aramis do it as well, and just in time, not even a full year after, they have a flanker to Intuition called Intuition Intense. If you're looking forward to this one, let us know. Add a comment below. So the next two, I am really looking forward to get my nose on. And I thought I heard from the grapevine that Baby Cat is actually going to be an extract. I don't see it officially. Maybe it is coming down the line. But the two that I see that are getting the extract treatment from the Le Vestiaire collection of fragrances from YSL are first Tuxedo. It's YSL Tuxedo 66 Extrait de Parfum. Now keep in mind, the house of YSL redid a lot of their, I think all of their Le Vestiaire collection fragrances, and they renamed them and they did the label changes as well. Now they're coming up with Extrait de Parfum. So I believe everything got just renamed. They weren't different they didn't reformulate them. And so now that they've redone the labels and the renaming, and they're coming out with the Extrait de Parfum versions. So the first is Tuxedo. It's Tuxedo 66 Extrait de Parfum. Who's a fan of the original? So it's featuring notes of patchouli, leather, dark woods, smoky notes, oak wood. Sounds pretty interesting, right? I'm a fan of the original Tuxedo. There is a cheaper alternative with Moustache from Rocha, but I was always a fan of Tuxedo from earlier on. I do have a large bottle, a 200 ml or 150 ml bottle of it myself, which is almost all the way down. So I want to see what they've done with the Extrait de Parfum version. And then the other one that's coming out is Blouse. So it's called Blouse 68 Rose Extrait. And it's centifolia rose, spices, honey, and oak wood. I think the Blouse is created by Tombee, the original. And I think the Tuxedo is an IFF perfumer with a very long name. I won't say it right now, but I'm looking forward to see what they've done with these fragrances. And unfortunately, Neiman's has dumped YSL Le Vestiaire collection here. It boils down to the issues that Neiman Marcus is having. But according to my research, they are sold at Sephora. Although I haven't gone inside Sephora to see this collection. Maybe I'll see it there. We'll see. But I'm quite curious to get my nose on these Extrait de Parfum. If you've got your nose on these, let us know. Add a comment below. Now let's move on to Maison Margiela, called Chasing Sunsets. And this is a fruity floral with mango, tuberose, and sandalwood. Tuberose, sandalwood creates a creaminess and the fruitiness of the mango. Mango is very popular. It's not one of my favorite notes. Mango has become really super popular. A lot of fragrances with mango lately. I'm not the biggest fan, as I said. And this one sounds kind of beachy and tropical to an extent with that fruitiness of the mango. So let's see what they've done with Chasing Sunsets. Kind of don't like the name myself. What do you guys think of the name? I don't have a perfumer name for this one, but again, I'm curious to get my nose on it to see what they've done with the fragrance, because I always check out Maison Margiela fragrances. One of the recent ones that I really like is from the Garden, which I actually spoke about a few days ago. It was a highly discounted tester online that I talked about. But let's move on to Le Labo next. We've got Violet 30, and Violet 30, this time it's a violet focused fragrance. It's a very polarizing note to me, I think. Violet, I don't see a lot of guys or girls or women and men talking about violet as a fragrance note that they really enjoy. Let me know if you're a fan of violet. I like violet in fragrances. I want to see what the Le Labo has done with it. I think I'm going to have to go to the Le Labo boutique to get my nose on it unless I'm traveling somewhere. But Le Labo fragrances tend to be kind of subdued and not super loud, but they do come up with some great smells. And of course, like I said, I do want to check out Violet 30. And if you've got your nose on this one and if you're anticipating it, let us know. Add a comment below. All right, up next, we've got a new one from Goldfield and Banks. It's called Rose Magnitude. So I actually got my nose on this one quite a while ago, actually, last November. And on first impressions, I liked it. So I want to kind of circle back to it and see if I really love it. It's too bad it didn't launch by the time I did my rose deep dive video. If you haven't caught that video, please go catch it. It's 100 rose fragrances in one video. So all kinds of different styles of rose fragrances. But this one, Rose Magnitude, features notes of damask rose, violet, amberous, raspberry, vanilla, tonka, sandalwood, papyrus, geranium, orange, ginger, iris butter, buckwheat, and cumin. Yeah, let us know if you've gotten your nose on it. I have a feeling that this is somewhat of an exclusive for a UK retailer up until like a certain point, but I can't quite remember if that's 100% correct. If you guys know, let us know. But the next fragrance I want to talk to you guys about is Carolina Herrera's Stallion Leather Sirocco. So they launched with Stallion Leather, and then they had the suede version of it, Stallion Leather Suede. Now they've got Stallion Leather Sirocco. All three of the fragrances are created by Jordi Fernandez. I actually spoke about the Stallion Leather fragrances in a few videos. I have a Jordi Fernandez deep dive video where I spoke about, and then also a few other videos here and there. Let me know if you're a fan of these fragrances created by Jordi Fernandez for Carolina Herrera. But this Stallion Leather Sirocco features notes of black pepper, leather, nutmeg, salt, date liqueur, osmanthus, saffron, akigala wood, benzoin, smoked leather. So it seems like Akigala wood is becoming a staple for a lot of the Givaudan perfumers. You know, I think it has a lot of hate, but honestly, guys, it doesn't smell like Ambroxan. I had the great pleasure of visiting Givaudan in Paris, and I specifically asked to smell this ingredient. To me, it smells like a very cleaned up patchouli, and patchouli is not Ambroxan. So if you're thinking Akigala wood would smell like Ambroxan, you're quite wrong. It doesn't. At least it didn't to me. Maybe it acts like it, but to me it acted more like I said, a very stripped away of all of the impurities of patchouli, kind of a patchouli. So it's super clean take on patchouli, which I really love. So it wasn't as exciting when I smelled it though. But when I was at Givaudan, I also got to smell Georgie wood. Now that was a super exciting ingredient, but Georgie wood to me acted more like an amped up take on ISOE Super. And if you love Molecule 1 and you like this ingredient, look for fragrances that features Georgie wood, which is another proprietary ingredient from Givaudan. But let's move on to the next fragrance. It's Serge Lutens. It's La Nuit Tombee, and it's featuring notes of incense, cedar, and patchouli. This seems like a smoky, dark, woody, earthy, maybe a little green take on fragrance. Let's see what they're going to do with it. It doesn't sound super exciting for me. I don't know why, but maybe because they're not reporting all of the notes that are featured in this one, or maybe it just sounds kind of boring and bland with, you know, somewhat darker notes mixed together. But what's saving this one is the patchouli, and let's see how much patchouli it's going to feature. So I'd like to get my nose on it, and I will report back to you guys as soon as I can. But if you have gotten your nose on it, let us know what it is. Do add a comment below. All right, a new flanker to a long-standing Tom Ford fragrance next, and it seems like they've had a pretty big success with Eau de Ombre Leather. So now Tom Ford is launching Eau de Grey Vetiver. So Grey Vetiver has been around a good 15 or so, 16 or so years, and they had the Parfum come out 2 or 3 years ago, which is super metallic to me. And then now we're getting an eau version of it. Eau de Grey Vetiver, featuring notes of vetiver, musk, orange blossom, iris, bergamot, and grapefruit. Seems like they're taking the vetiver into a musky citrus direction, which the idea of eau is perfect for it, I think. You know, they used to have an eau de toilette version of Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. So is this going to smell like it? I don't 100% know, but curious to see what they've done with it. Because the Parfum, to me, it's quite metallic and very, very screechy, very sharp. So hopefully this is going to be a bit softer for the fact that it has these citruses. We shall see. But moving on to the house of Fugazzi, it's Matchabuya, created by Julien Rascanet. It's matcha, yuzu, green pepper, white tea, moss, sandalwood, and bergamot. This one sounds like a fun fragrance. Matcha is a yay or nay kind of a note for me. It's not something that I really, really love or crave, but I like the marketing imagery that they've used for this, and I like the idea of it. As long as it smells more like green tea, I'm there. But sometimes matcha takes on the characteristics of dry green grass, kind of with a tea focus. So let's see what they've done with it, because I do enjoy Julien's creations, and I haven't seen him do anything matcha focused yet. But moving on to Parfums de Marly, they've got a ladies fragrance, a new ladies fragrance called Athenais. I think that's how you say it. And it features notes of jasmine sambac, orange blossom, neroli, mahonial, bergamot, yuzu, tonka, vanilla, amber. I have gotten my nose on this one. It seemed leaning very feminine, even more feminine than something like Delina, but I need to get my nose on it further and to see what I think about it. I don't know who created it, but seems like Marly uses similar perfumers, so probably one of the firms they use, like Jardin or Firmenich. But I think this might be popular. It's a kind of more like a transparent, sheer kind of a floral, more on the flowers, not much fruits if at all. But now that I think about this fragrance, I think this is Jardin perfumer, especially for the fact that they use this ingredient called mahonial. I think that's the perfumers over at Jardin use that ingredient. But yeah, still looking to play around with this one and see how it wears. But on first sniff, it was a bit feminine leaning. But this next one I'm super excited about. It's one of my favorite fragrances from BDK, and it's getting the Extrait de Parfum treatment. I'm excited for this one. BDK's Velvet Tonka Extrait de Parfum. I think it's like number 2 or 3, the original for me. I love Velvet Tonka, and this one seems like it's given it the pistachio boost. And BDK's Velvet Tonka Extrait de Parfum is created by Alexandre Carlan, and it features notes of pistachio spread, cinnamon, cosmo fruit, orange blossom, tonka beans, amber, Saffiano leather, vanilla, and tobacco. Yeah, the addition of the tobacco, I can't remember if the tobacco existed in the original. I think it did, but I don't know Velvet Tonka as a tobacco fragrance. I know it more for like an almondy Tonka experience, but the fact that they have pistachio here, the leather is amped up, and then also the tobacco, I'm quite interested in getting this on my nose, like my nose on this one. But I heard something like it's exclusive for somewhere or something. But as soon as I can get my nose on it, I'll let you guys know. But as always, if you've gotten your nose on it, let us know. Add a comment below. Let's move on to the next fragrance from the house of Hermes. Fragrance created by Christine Nagel called Un Jardin sous la mer. So this is one of the long-standing collection of fragrances started by Jean-Claude Helena, featuring fragrances like Un Jardin sur le Nil, Un Jardin en Méditerranée, Après la Mousson, and so on and so on. So sous la mer sounds a bit marine aquatic, especially since it has the word la mer, referring to the sea. I think this is more like tropical floral leaning, featuring notes of tamanu, tiar flower, mineral notes, and musk. So no aquatic marine notes, but it's got this very interesting ingredient called tamanu, which is some kind of a tropical tree, and they use the seeds off of it or the fruits off of it. So we shall see what it's all about. But I'm curious to see what Christine Nagel has done to the next Un Jardin collection fragrance. So next fragrances are from the house of Karl Lagerfeld in the cutest bottles. I think These are a bit inspired by the Paco Rabanne robot kind of looking bottles. This is a Karl Lagerfeld fragrance called Iconic Absolute. They've got the women's and the men's. The men's features notes of orange blossom, sage, cardamom, cedar, pepper, pineapple, vanilla, and amber. And then finally, the ladies or the women's version features notes of cherries, jasmine, peony, musk, and sandalwood. Yeah, they're a bit toy-like, but they're kind of cute. And I'd like to see what they've done with the fragrances. Sure, they'll end up at the discounters right away as well, because nobody really sells the Karl Lagerfeld fragrances anywhere near where I know that sells fragrances. I've not seen it at like US fragrance retailers like Macy's, because that's where I assume these fragrances would go if they did sell them. But maybe they sell them somewhere that I don't know about. But let me know what your thoughts are on the bottles. Add a comment below. Let's move on to the house of Swiss Arabian. We've got two fragrances from this house. We've got a Shagaf flanker. It's called Shagaf Nectar Blush, featuring notes of tonka beans, patchouli, Peru balsam, vanilla, musk, cedar, aquatic notes, magnolia, orange blossom, pear, gardenia, black currant, elderflower, apples, and yuzu. Lots going on with this. This one definitely sounds like it's a leaning feminine. It's a fruity floral, new for the Shagaf series. I don't know if I'm going to really like this one, but we shall see. I've been tricked before. Fragrance not sounding great, turns out really awesome. Fragrance sounding awesome, turning out to be a dud. So let us know what you think about Shagaf Nectar Blush. And then we have Swiss Arabian's Patchouli 01, my kind of a fragrance, featuring notes of mint, lavender, patchouli, kind of an aromatic take on patchouli, not a patchouli that's cakey, chocolate cakey, but more on the green and aromatic side. Almost kind of giving me the idea of Nikolai's patchouli, but I don't think it's going to smell like that. Just giving me the idea of the fact that it has the aromatics. The Nikolai patchouli has the geranium, and geranium and mint kind of have similarities to me. And so, you know, it also has the lavender. So we'll see what it smells like. I doubt it's going to smell like Nikolai, but you never know, things can. So that is Swiss Arabian's Patchouli 01. And then we've got three fragrances from the house of Infiniment Coty in a new collection called Les Osmiums. Les Osmiums. Three new fragrances, although these are flankers, with a note or ingredient called Ambrine S. So Ambrine S was in their latest fragrance, the Ambre Antique, that came out late last year. It was a limited edition bottle. It was limited to like 1,910 bottles. I think that's the quantity, or 1,905, something like that. Did you guys check it out? It did come off animalic, by the way. Some people didn't care for it because it was animalic. And then I think that's just the way that fragrance is constructed originally, and they reconstructed it and brought it back to smelling as close to the original as possible. So they've taken that Ambrine S note from what they featured in the Ambre Antique and brought it into this collection. And then they feature it in three flankers from the house that already exists in this trio of three fragrances. So the first one is L'Amour Purpur, and it features the Ambrine S plus lavender, bergamot, sage, geranium, patchouli, vanilla, labdanum. I can't remember if I have this particular one. I have the next two in their original formats. Après l'Amour, it's featuring the Ambrine S in the base, plus it features notes of pink pepper, ginger, tobacco, cinnamon, amber wood, vanilla, and benzoin. I think it's a Fabrice Pellegrin, so they have two Fabrice Pellegrin fragrances here featuring that Ambrine S, which makes sense for these two fragrances. I think these two are Fabrice Pellegrin. And the last fragrance is Encore un Foie, featuring that Ambrine S base again, and also featuring notes of spices, frankincense, amber woods, labdanum, vanilla, Peru balsam. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances from the house of Infiniment Coty. Did you guys get a chance to try the Ambre Antique? Add a comment below. And what do you guys think of these three new flankers? I think these are going to be quite pricey, so we'll see. I like Après l'Amour and Encore un Foie, although I never pull for them. I should, but I really love the Ambre Antique, and that one I really love. But since it came out as a limited edition, I don't want to pull for it unless I find out that they're bringing it back into the regular collection. Who knows? We shall see. But that's all I have for you in today's video until the outro. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Are you excited for anything? If you've gotten your nose on anything, let us know. Add a comment below. And again, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, list below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon so you'll get the notifications. And give a thumbs up for this video. It really does help with getting the video out to as many people that are searching for videos like this. And once again, guys, if you can, please subscribe to the new Shorts channel, which is linked in the info box. It's the Perfume Guy Shorts. Getting ready to do some content there very soon, and just need a few more people to subscribe to that channel as well. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, we've got 4 fragrances to talk about from the house of Zoologist Perfumes, 3 of which are flankers, 1 a brand spanking new one. So the first one I'm talking about is the new one called Lovebird, created by Nathalie Feistauer. So I think this is the second Nathalie Feistauer fragrance from Zoologist. The first one was Cow, I believe. I think that's the only one from what I remember. And Lovebird features notes of kiwi, lavender, lily of the valley, musk, amyris, ambrette, heliotrope, oak moss, vanilla, tonka, cedar, amber, passion fruit, geranium, ylang ylang, mint, cloves, clary sage, orange, bergamot, blackcurrant, and wormwood. What are your thoughts on this new release from Zoologist Perfumes? Are you excited for it? Do you enjoy Nathalie Feistauer's fragrances? I know you guys have been wanting me to do a deep dive video on Zoologist Perfumes. Just an FYI, I don't own everything. I'm really sad I don't own the original bat from the house. I have the newer version. I think the original bat is where it's at. As a collector, I probably should have one, but I don't know where to find it. Although it exists by the perfumer in her own collection. I think it's called Night Flyer, but I prefer to have the actual collector's edition of the fragrance, especially also since Zoologist Perfumes are now in new bottles. They've changed their bottles. So I'm thinking about doing a deep dive. We'll think about it and see if I can get one done. The next fragrance I'm talking about from Zoologist Perfumes is Elephant Sanctuary Edition. So this is a new perfumer. I think she's with IFF. I have reviewed the original. It's quite green fragrance, and I think they've done a complete new version of the Elephant, a flanker. And I don't know if they kept the original or not, but this is done by Natasha Cote, and the fragrance features notes of Earl Grey tea, mate, cypriol, suede, orris, sandalwood, tuberose, rose, osmanthus, jasmine, cardamom, pink pepper, and nutmeg. Who's a fan of the brand? Do you find their fragrances too artsy, too cute, too animalic? Let us know. Add a comment below. There are a few that I really love. Bee still is my favorite, followed by Rabbit. And there's a few daring ones here and there. Let's see what these fragrances are all about. Let's see what Lovebird is all about. And let's see what this Elephant Sanctuary Edition is all about. And then we've got 2 more. We've got a Chameleon Tropical Blooms Edition next, created by Antoine Lee, a well-known perfumer who's done quite a few fragrances for Etat Libre Orange. This Chameleon Tropical Blooms Edition is ylang ylang, bergamot, jasmine, banana leaves, guava, passion fruit, orange blossom, sandalwood, vanilla, and cedarwood. Total tropical sounding fragrance, right? Of course, it's called Tropical Blooms Edition. So I'm curious to get my nose on this one. I don't recall, I think I do have the original Chameleon. I just don't remember who did it, but quite curious to see what Antoine Lee has done to this. Maybe it was Antoine Lee, the original. I'm not 100% sure though. And then finally, we've got Koala Joey Edition. Koala Joey Edition. This one is created by George Tedder, perfumer that I'm completely unfamiliar with. Do you guys know who this is? I don't know. I've never heard his name before. But this perfume features notes of eucalyptus, grapefruit, musk, sandalwood, animalic notes, mimosa, geranium, spearmint, galbanum, basil, clary sage, something going green and camphoric, eucalyptus, galbanum, yep, animalic notes. This one sounds fun. I'm really curious to see what this one's all about, and I also think koalas are super cute animals. And Joey Edition sounds really, really cute, except is it too animalic? I doubt it. And another thing that Zoologist Perfumes does, they list on their website that they don't use any animalic notes. So even though it says animalic notes, definitely going to be synthetic. Let me know your thoughts on these Zoologist Perfumes fragrances. What are your thoughts? What do you think about them? Are you going to get your nose on them? Do you enjoy Zoologist Perfumes fragrances? Or have you not found one that you liked? Add a comment below. Thanks so much for watching today. See you guys tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.